So, with Eden Zero heating up with our brand new arc, we find out what our new villain seemingly is going to be, who Shiki is already going to be fighting is some weird ether gear ninja. I wasn't expecting cyborg ninjas to be involved that use ether gear, but no, here we are. We're apparently having those kind of characters already being included into the series as well. Not to mention as well the fact that our first, I guess, actual villain or antagonist, on there, is some really creepy frog-looking dude with quite an obsession with certain females, I should say, and all that, which we're going to be talking about, where it is going to be involving Rebecca and Lavila pretty soon. So let's go and dive into this chapter as well with chapter 17 of Eden Zero. So one thing that was interesting enough is that when they were talking about the whole adventure guild, when they were talking about Meteor Tower, the master apparently wanted to see Rebecca for some reason, and she was like, well, I wonder what that's all about and all that, and it's like, well, you probably get in trouble the hen there and all that to Norma and all that, and it's like, well, what's the master kind of like and all that, and it's like, you know, who is it exactly, and it's like, I wonder if I can come past it, and it's like, really Shiki, and it's like, immediately it was like, well, I'm nervous about this immediately, about the conversation that's going to be a little bit heavy and all that, and it's like, the master might have information on Sister, and I might be able to figure something out, so Rebecca kind of goes on her own way the most part, and it's like, well, if anything and all that, then how about, the rest of us kind of go exploring a little bit and all that, let's go and search around, because there was those weird dogs and everything, and it's like, you get to see Shiki and everyone else go roaming around a little bit, and it was like, well, let's go and have a look and see what's going around the city and everything, and it's like, and we cut back to Lavila and what was going on with this cyborg dude, which we find out he immediately jumps Lavila and her goons, and is like, oh, who are these people with all these trouble, what are you doing, take care of them, number 3, number 4, and is like, oh, I'm gonna shoot this guy, and it finds out he's pretty fast, because it might be he's an actual ninja or something, and he tries to get this down, and immediately, and he's like, my job is here to take you back home and all that, and it's like, wait, what's going on right now? And it's just, don't squat, just don't squirm and all that, I'm taking you home, just, that's what it's going, which we end up finding that Shiki is here and intervening, and is like, look, she don't want to go like that, as holding back, and finding out that his arm rips off and he detaches, and he's doing a bunch of signs with his hand, and is punching Shiki in the face, and is finding out it retracts, and he's like, oh, what the hell is going on there? And it's like, what's with this dude? And it's like, he's apparently 60% of his body is machine, and he's cyborg, and it's like, that's quite a weird guy and all that, and he's like, we're dealing with right now, and when he's like, I'm gonna have I'm getting myself involved with this whole matter, and he's like, is this your job and all that, to bully girls? And it's like, my job is to take people, my dude. And it's just like, look, even that they don't want to go, and he's just like, no need for emotions, oh man, he's like, Shiki obviously being someone that doesn't understand this, because he's a very emotional kid, compared to this guy, and he's just like, fine, if you're gonna get in my way, I'm gonna eliminate anyone. And you see his arm starts glowing with the ether gear on there. You're like, how the hell did he get that then immediately? And I can't believe fucking Lavila is there grabbing her little cube, and it's like, oh, this is gonna be some great footage that I'm about to see right now with these two fighting. And it was like, there was one panel that kind of got me a little bit, whereas he's charging up his gear and everything like that, and he's like, I'm not gonna lose to someone like you with no soul. And he's like, you kid, wait, this kid's got ether gear too, and there's just this big shit-eating grin on Shiki like that, and I'm like, oh, that's the panel right there. And I was like, oh, he is down, he's ready to fight, and I could not wait for that. Then we start going to this other, this planet known as Gilst, which is this hovel, this just piece of shit, and it's you look at the one area in the town where it's this paradise, and you see this disgusting frog-looking dude that's just got a bunch of statues of all these girls, and he's just sitting on them. He's got this big key around him, and it's he's like, oh yes, I want more beautiful young girls. And I'm like, who is this guy? Who is this clown? And it's finding out his name is Iliga, Iliga, and I was like, wow. And he's like, there should be and his whole little buddy servant guy is like, oh, don't worry, there'll be a more enormous amount of girls here soon, just wait a little bit longer. And he's like, I want beekeepers. And I'm like, yes, don't worry, we're getting them in Blue Garden right now. And he's like, yeah, that's true. And then he says the certain words, yes, sisters soldiers are in participation. I'm like, okay, you're gonna have your beautiful little young girls right now. I want them soon to increase my collection. And it's like, right, so Sister's already getting involved right there, and we see like the last panel focusing on like Rebecca, so it's going to be immediately involving these two, and especially where it's like with like clearly with Sister and all that, that it confirms more of this ninja guy as well, that he's either related to Sister or like has something to do with it, whether or not Sister makes cyborgs or not, or like what really is more up to this guy, this dude's whole ordeal right now, because so far all we know is that he has the ability to control like his fists and able to go out, whether or not his full ether gear, if anything, because we see like whether or not the pose itself when he's doing it, like the whole getting ready to fight out there, whether or not he can control wind or not, it'd be interesting. Like I want to see a little bit more about this guy and more exactly what his name is as well. Like overall, like this is more of the setup chapter for Eden Zero. Nothing too special to talk about apart from we get to see our real villain. We get to see like what exactly like Shiki's next threat is, which is another guy with ether gear. And whether or not he's going to be a serious threat or not, I mean, he's there to try and help, like, Lavila, but, like, the fact that Lavila's like, oh, help me, like, immediately, and then she's like, oh, I'm going to get some footage. I'm like, fucking, hey, Lavila, hey, maybe you want to start, you know, not being a shitty human being for once, where it's like, someone went to save me from getting stabbed, and then goes and records on her phone instead of calling for help, or like you know, getting the police or something. Like, oh, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make some good YouTube clicks, like on that. It's like, yeah, this bitch right now. But the fact that it's gonna involve her and Rebecca at some point, we're gonna have to wait and see exactly, because there's a lot of girls that need saving, and no wonder. The kind of the sad thing as well, that probably what's going to be the case, is that the main reason that Lavila grew high in popularity is because all these other B-Cubers just got taken away, and it's like, you wasn't popular to begin with, you were just like the last scraps that people were looking for, and I'm like, that's a depressing thing if that's going to be the case. And then, like, I hope if that's the case then that Lavila's going to get a reality check, so we'll wait and see on that. But I'm curious to see what you guys thought about this chapter of Eden Zero. But that's all from me. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.